This is Steve Schiffman. I want to thank you very much for joining me in this particular webcast that we put out each and every day for you, either as a salesperson or as a sales manager. What I try to do is really help you, give you some insight into the things that you do each and every day to make a living. And I think we need that. I think sometimes we just need to sit down and think about what it is we're really trying to accomplish, what it is we're trying to do. I know sometimes it's frustrating. You know, I used to play golf, and there was nothing more frustrating than golf, although sales ranks right up in there. And I want to tell you a story because I think this is relevant. A good friend of mine's uncle died this past weekend, and he called to tell me about that. Now, I wasn't close to him. He was close to him, but I kind of knew who he was. And I said, wasn't that the guy in sales? The guy in sales. And he said, oh yeah, that was him. He was number one in his company for many years in selling. I said, what did he sell? I don't remember. And he said, oh, drill bits. He sold more drill bits than anybody else in the world, as far as they were concerned. And I thought about that after we hung up. And I said to myself, is that how we're going to be remembered, you and I? As a salesperson, do you want to be remembered because you were the number one salesperson? Or do you want to be remembered because you did something good, you did something well, you helped somebody else? And of course, you know my answer to that. It's going to be that you helped somebody else. That perhaps is the most important thing that I could ever tell you. You help somebody, it comes back 10 times. You help somebody, it comes back 1,000 times. You help somebody and it will come back forever. And it does. But if all you're doing is selling for the sake of selling, well, that doesn't really pay off. Oh yeah, you'll make a living and you'll carry the kids through school and you'll get on to the next level in life. You'll do that. I'm not questioning that. And I'm not telling you not to do it. But I'm saying to you, is that really what you want to do? Do you really just want to be the number one salesperson in the company, in the world? For what reason? I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. And I thought about that, and you thought about that too. I want you today to dedicate part of your day thinking about what it is that you want to be remembered for. Now, sometimes I tell groups, write out your own obituary. Now, they freak out with that. When I say that to them, they go, oh, I'm not going to do that. Well, I got to tell you something about that. I read that line, write out your own obituary, probably 30, maybe 40 years ago. And I said to myself, you know, that's kind of interesting. What is it that I want people to say about me? What is it that I want to say about me, if I could? And so I did that. I actually wrote that out. I mean, it's 100 years ago, but I wrote it out. And in it, I said that I wanted to be remembered as a good person who wrote books, who taught, who did sales, who started a company, but more importantly, was a good person. I don't know that I've accomplished that. I really don't know. You can't judge that until it's over. Maybe 10 years later, people think back. And if you think about it, most of us only remember 3 generations back. Your father, maybe your grandparents, and that's it. We don't go far back. None of us really remember our great-great-great-great-great-parents or talk about them. They weren't there when you were there. So you don't actually talk about them. You may know about them, but you don't actually talk about them. You don't know what they did. I see on television sometimes it's the commercial for Ancestry, where you can look up and find out where your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents came from. But it doesn't identify with you because that's not you. You are you today. Now, I don't want to get into a motivational thing. That's not what I do. But I do want you to be motivated today to think differently, just for today. Think differently today about who you are, who you want to be, and how you want to be remembered. I don't want you to be just remembered because you're a good salesperson. That's nice, somewhat trivial, but that's nice. I want you to be remembered because you did something good. So here's something that I'm going to challenge you with. And the NFL, believe it or not, football, NFL is challenging you too. Spend 100 minutes doing something good. That's all. Go find 100 minutes of your day and do something good for somebody. Find somebody. Find somebody. I don't care who it is. It doesn't have to be anybody special. It doesn't have to be just because you're doing good the worst person you can find. Do something good for somebody else who's good. See, you don't have to do good for people who are bad. Just do good for other people. Doesn't matter who it is. So that's my message today. My message to you is very simple. Just be good to somebody else, no matter who it is. And then don't take credit. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell your husband, your wife, your significant other. Don't tell anybody. Just do it. And then don't say anything. Don't yell it out loud. Just be happy inside that you spent a moment doing something good. We're not going to have today a special drawing for a book. I'm not going to do that today. I don't want to do that today. I want you to do something today, something that's good. So do that. If you need some help, please feel free to call me. You know how to reach me. You know you can reach me on the web. You know you can see the podcast. You can see, you can hear, you can talk to me. You know you can do that. So reach out to me if you want to. But really what I want to hear today, and if you want to write to me, tell me what you did good today. I'd love to hear that, what you did good. Not because you were going to get a reward. Not because anybody was going to say, oh, wow, what a great thing you did. Just because it's you. Hey, thanks for joining me. Appreciate it. As always, you humble me by your presence.